Kia ora te whānau, ko Bonnie tōku ingoa. Hi, I'm Bonnie. Today's video is going to be about some breastfeeding friendly hobbies, so things that you can do while you're doing exactly what I'm doing right now, sitting around, only really having one hand max to be able to do anything because you're feeding your baby. And this probably can apply to bottle feeding as well, and you know, I'm sure there are other circumstances where you only have one hand available, but just specifically for title purposes and because this is kind of like what I'm doing at the moment, this video is about breastfeeding friendly hobbies. So I will start off by sort of going through my list of hobbies that one can do while breastfeeding, and then I will show you my hobby basket, my little storage for breastfeeding friendly hobbies that I'm trying to keep near me. I've only just made this, so it isn't like something I've had practice in yet, but it's been 3 weeks of, well, mostly, I suppose it's probably been really like 2 weeks of being at home because this has been the first week in hospital. But yeah, it's been 2 weeks of breastfeeding at home, and I'm already pretty sick of just watching YouTube and even TV shows and things like that. Like, I don't really watch a whole lot of shows, so that's better than just watching YouTube. But yeah, pretty much what I've mostly been doing is either watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, and watching like Netflix. So yeah, it's good to have some ideas of different things I can do, especially when I do have a hand free like right now. It depends on what position you're using. I highly recommend this position right now, which is the like rugby hold, I guess, or basically you have them on the side, so their like bodies tucked under your arm and their head is coming out forward, because then you have a whole extra hand free and you can pretty much just use gravity and your other hand to help with the feeding, and you only need to get involved with this hand every now and again. So this is a great hobby friendly position. Side laying is really good too, because then you can pretty much just lay down and then you've got your other hand free as well, but I feel like this position is definitely the most comfortable. But you can pretty much use almost any position for hobby friendly breastfeeding positions. But yeah, this is definitely my favourite one for this. Alright, so get started. So I've sort of broken it up into two sections. The first section is the things you can do on your phone, because obviously if you've got your phone with you, you don't just have to sit there and scroll or only be able to watch videos on Netflix or whatever. There are other things you can do as well. And then things that are not on your phone, basically. So this isn't in no particular order, by the way. This is just like what came to my mind when it did. Alright, so the first one is video creation. So I started doing YouTube a few years ago now, I think like 3 years ago. I actually started before then filming. I've been filming since like 2020, I think, maybe even earlier than that. I think the first video I ever filmed was a like holiday video, like vlog, because my partner couldn't come on the holiday, so I wanted to film everything so that I could show him. And then I've been filming off and on ever since. That may have been in 2019, I think. And I filmed heaps over lockdown, but I just never really got around to editing a lot of that stuff, because editing for me was always one of the harder things to do. It was not necessarily difficult, but it was very time consuming and I don't find it that fun. So editing is definitely the harder side of video creation for me. But now that I'm just sitting around, it is actually pretty easy to do while you're breastfeeding, because you only need one hand if you're doing your video editing on your phone, which if you want to do YouTube videos or like any kind of video editing on your phone, especially if that's all you have, I'd really recommend UCut Pro. It's free. It does all the basic stuff you need. There are special features and things. I don't really know how to use those. They don't really concern me very much. All I really need to do is cut the clips together and maybe put some music and stuff like that, some text. That's about it. But there are plenty of other features. I just don't really care about those. But yeah, I'd recommend that app because it's actually a really like handy app to have for editing, and it's very straightforward and easy to use. So highly recommend. But yeah, video creation is an excellent breastfeeding friendly hobby, especially if you are just doing it on your phone. But you could do it on a laptop as well if you only need your mouse hand or your trackpad hand. So yeah, would highly recommend that. Number 2 is digital collaging. I recommend using the app Canva, which is what I use to make my thumbnails. Yeah, but any kind of photo editing app, anything like that will do. Yeah, basically digital collaging, you just get a blank template, grab whatever photos or images you want to use, and then just load them on and play around until you get what you want. I like doing real life collaging as well, but because that's probably a bit more hands-on, literally, than I can realistically do while breastfeeding. Digital collaging is another option, and it's also a great option for when you haven't got like photos printed yet, or if you want to use like images off your Pinterest or something like that. You can use it for something specific, like if you wanted to do a collage for your friend for their birthday, or a collage of, you know, pretty sunset views or something like that, like whatever you want really. Or you can literally just like this, you know, kind of like those photo dump collages that people are doing on Instagram stories. That's a great idea as well. You know, any kind of collage. But yeah, I really enjoy doing collaging in general. So digital collaging is a great idea, and it's firstly free. So you don't have to pay for things getting printed and all that kind of stuff, or wait for them to be delivered if you're getting them delivered from online. And you can make as many as you want. It's very environmentally friendly too. You're not like wasting any paper or, you know, using any resources really. Literally just on your phone. And you can do whatever you want with them. Like you could get them printed, you know, on print paper. You could send them to a Photoshop to be printed. You could put them on a canvas. You can make them into your phone screensavers. You could just post them on Instagram. Like you can do whatever you want with them. So yeah, digital collaging. Number 3 is digital photo album creation. So like just going through your photos and just making photo albums. I love doing this because I use Google Photos personally. I literally have, at last check, which was before I'd taken 500 photos of my baby in the last 3 weeks, 53,000 photos and videos on my Google Photos. So I'd highly recommend that if you are the type of person who keeps running out of storage and having to delete photos and stuff, and you don't want to like buy a hard drive or whatever, or you don't know how to do all that kind of stuff, I'd recommend Google Photos because you can get up to, I think it's 700 gig or something like that for free. And then, you know, you can just pay per month after that to keep like as much storage as you want. I have 2 terabytes of storage, and I'm only, I think, like maybe 40%, something like that. So, which is pretty good considering I have 53,000 photos, videos. I've been using Google Photos since like 2013 or something like that, because I had so many photos and videos, and I didn't want to have to delete them all because that, like, I didn't want to lose all those memories. So I literally have pretty much every photo I've ever taken since 2013 still saved, which is pretty awesome. So I love going through my Google Photos and just making little albums. Like at the moment, we're doing a shared photo album for pictures and videos of our baby, so that we don't have everybody posting them online, because we don't really want pictures and videos of our baby online, especially on social media, without our approval, firstly, but also just like we don't know every person who's on all of our friends and family's Facebooks and etc. So we don't really want just random people having access to photos of our baby. You know, if we've never met them, we don't even know who they are. Why should they have access to photos of our kids? So yeah, that's why we don't really want photos of our baby online. But because of that, we're doing a shared photo album through Google Photos. So, you know, I just created the album, put all of the photos and videos that we already had in there, and then I shared the link to the people that we wanted to have access to it. So mostly it's our like very close friends and family, or mostly just our close family even. I think only one friend has the link. And that's like they can just click on the link and then they can access the whole album. They can post their own photos to it as well, or they can like be invited by email, or you know, once they've gone into it, they just have to go into their own Google Photos and then they can see the album through there. But yeah, it's really cool being able to do it that way, because then you can share photos and videos and stuff between everybody, and you don't have to send the same photo and video to every person that wants it. And it also means that you know, if other people take photos, they can still post them. They're just not posting them online publicly for everybody else to see. And we actually get to see all the photos of our baby that are, you know, that exist really. As long as people actually post them there, which they mostly do, which is cool. Digital photo album creation is a really fun, like, memory keeping kind of hobby as well. But you can do it for anything. Like, I've got albums of dates that me and Jake have been on. You know, I've got one just like of, I think it's called like 2022 Adventures or something like that. Just every fun thing we did in 2022. Because I think in that year we really like put focus into going out and doing stuff. Because that was sort of post-COVID, once we were finally able to go out and do everything we wanted to do again. You can do it for anything. Number 4, mood boarding. This is quite similar to digital photo collaging, but like with more of a purpose. So I always do a mood board for, like, a vision board, whatever you want to call it. I always do one for the start of each year. And then usually I do one for the start of the season as well. I haven't done that for, I don't think I've done it at all this year. Just because I've been pregnant and having a baby, so that's kind of more of the important side of my life at the moment. And just like this last season of life has been more about, you know, brewing and raising this child. I love doing a mood board for the season as well, because then it's kind of like making a visual bucket list of just like things that put you in the mood for that season, or put you in the mood for, you know, whatever you're looking forward to. It's a great way to set goals as well, and yeah, like create like a bucket list to you know, just put yourself on the right track, on the right mindset of where you want to be, what you want to be doing over the next, you know, few months or year or whatever. But you can also do mood boards for the kind of outfits you want to be wearing, or the kind of lifestyle you want to live, or just like pictures that make you happy. You know, there are so many different things you can do. I'd recommend Pinterest if you are looking for inspiration. You can literally just search up any term on Pinterest and it will come up with a whole load of things to inspire you. So yeah, highly recommend that. And yeah, mood boarding is honestly really fun. I really enjoy doing that. So I might actually create a mood board for spring, just because I really would like to get in the right vibes to actually do stuff during spring, like not just end up staying home all the time just because I have a baby. Like, I want to take her out. I want to take her to a flower garden, and like I want to do a little photo shoot with in the daffodils or in the flowers with her, like, because my mum did that with me when I was a baby. So I was born in August. She was born at the start of September. And for us in New Zealand, spring starts in September. So there's lots of daffodils around at the moment. I'm actually going to ask my mum if she will come with me to do a photo shoot with her this weekend if it's nice. And I'd love to do, like, take her to see the cherry blossom trees, and just like do some art with her outside and things like that. Like, I know she's only a newborn, so she obviously can't get super involved and she's not going to remember any of it, but I will. And it's still a nice experience for her. Like, just because she's a newborn doesn't mean she doesn't, like, experience stuff. She might not remember it, she might not understand what's going on, but she's still experiencing things. So definitely want to get in the mood to take her out and do more fun things together. Number 5 is mobile gaming. I love gaming in general, but a lot of games obviously require a controller, which would usually use 2 hands. Or keyboard and mouse, which again usually would use 2 hands. There are point and click games, and there are games that you can play with 1 hand. I don't personally play any of those games, nor do I really know any of those games off the top of my head. Well, not that I don't play any of those games. I like to play Mushy Monsters. I don't care if that's like childish or whatever. I used to play it when I was a kid and I loved it. So it's like a nostalgic game for me. They're going through a like rebrand at the moment, and I think that the website that was available is currently shut down. So I can't even play that at the moment. I will have a look and see if it's come back up yet, but as far as I'm aware, it hasn't, which is frustrating. But that was probably the only game I could play while breastfeeding, but even then, I don't have a very good gaming chair at the moment. Mine doesn't have a back to it because the back fell off ages ago. So it's literally just the like flat seat part of the rolling computer chair. So that's not a safe or a comfortable place to breastfeed unless I was wearing her in like a baby carrier. But yeah, even then I don't think I would probably do that. So if I want to play games while I'm breastfeeding, then mobile gaming is probably my best option. So I can just play games on my phone. My most played game right now is Scrabble. Love Scrabble. But I also have Hogwarts Mystery, which is a fun game. Don't at me about the whole J.K. Rowling thing. I hate her. But I downloaded that game literally like years ago and I'm not going to delete it. I've made so much progress that I won't delete it. So I like playing that game. I'm not paying her any money for it. It's a free game, so yeah, don't get on my back about that. But yeah, I like that game. What else have I got? I've got Multi-Par Wars, which is a really fun game. It's kind of like one of those, if you've played Bloons Tower Defense, it's basically one of those kind of games where you set up little defenses and the enemies come and try to raid you and your defenses attack them. You got to try and keep like upgrading them as they go and kind of things like that. So that's a really fun game, but it's like a multi version. So there's like a warring tribe trying to invade your pa, and you've got to send out your warriors, and the gods are helping you. It's really fun. Really recommend that game. It's awesome. What else do I play? I play Plants vs Zombies 2. Good game. Car Jam. I like that one too. That one's one of those ones I saw on an ad, and then I just saw the ad so many times that I ended up getting it. And I really like it. It's good fun. But it's quite it's tough to pass some of the levels, so sometimes I get frustrated. Those are the main games that I like to play, but I have there are other games on my phone that I don't really play very often, like Solitaire and Brick Breaker and things like that. And I'm sure there are other games that I would like, but at the moment those are the ones I'm playing. I've been getting a lot of ads for Gossip Harbour, which is one of those ones where you try to help fix this lady's house so that she can keep her kids from dying of frostbite and things like that. And I mean, it kind of looks good, so I'm curious. I might download it. I don't know. We'll see. Been getting a lot of ads for it, so I might end up caping and downloading it. See. Next one, number 6, is learning and research. I like to do this mostly about baby stuff at the moment. But anything I'm really interested in, I'll listen to podcasts about it. I'll watch YouTube videos about it. I'll just Google stuff. So I end up learning quite a lot, especially, when you're sitting around not doing a whole lot other than feeding your baby. Mentally, you've got plenty of room to grow, so you might as well take the time to. Also, another option is things like educational apps, learning a language. It's a great time to learn a language. And if you're doing it out loud, you're going to be helping your baby as well. Might end up raising them kind of bilingual. They have apps for that too. There's online classes you can be taking. There's free stuff, but there's also, paid courses. I'm in a Te Reo Māori course at the moment, level 3 and 4. I'm on a bit of a break at the moment because I've just had a baby, but I will be going back. I do in-person classes and we do weekend stays at a marae. Obviously that's not happening right now because my baby is literally 3 weeks old, so that's not my priority at the moment, and I'm not taking my baby just to a marae yet because you always get sick when you stay at the marae. There's so many people there, and because it's a course and you get marks for attendance and stuff, if you don't come then you lose marks, and you can only miss 2 out of the whole year or something like that, and there's 8. So people come when they're sick, so you always get sick. I'm not taking my baby if she's not even close to being immunised yet, so yeah, and she's too young to be away from me for that long. I'm not going to leave her alone. Not alone, she'll be with my partner, but I'm not going to leave her for that long. Her dad to do that when she was born. I'm not doing it now. Learning and research is a great and, very mentally active breastfeeding friendly hobby. Number 7, audiobooks and podcasts. Seriously big fan of audiobooks. I love using audiobooks as I kind of use it to pay myself to do stuff I don't want to do. So if I have to do the dishes, for example, or cook dinner, or hang out the washing, things like that I'm really not that keen on doing, I will pay myself by listening to my audiobook while I do it. So I only listen to audiobooks when I'm doing something I don't really want to do. which then makes me crave listening to them. So I'm more likely to actually do the thing I don't want to do. It's honestly a very effective method. Would recommend. Only works if you have the self-control to not listen to it outside of that, but I mean, you can always start doing the thing you don't want to do, and then once you've finished, keep going, keep listening to it while you're doing something else. I do that a lot, but I just don't let myself start the audiobook unless I'm doing something that I don't want to do. But also podcasts. I've been listening to lots of podcasts lately. At the moment, I've been listening to, well, in general, but right now, like recently while breastfeeding, I've been listening to Tony and Ryan. Good fun one. But inappropriate, so not safe for work, and definitely not like one you want to listen to out loud around your kids unless that's, it's up to you. It's your parenting prerogative, but that one might be headphones on one. I've been listening to Childproof, awesome podcast, great parenting podcast, especially if you want a gentle parent, or something along those lines. I've been listening to the Shane Dawson podcast as well. That one's, again, probably more of a headphones on one, but I just find that one really fun and enjoyable. What else? The Cozy Cove, or the Cozy Corner podcast, which is now the Cozy Cove podcast. That's just like by a YouTube family who also just had a baby girl. I think her baby is a month old now. She's like a week older than my daughter. Unplanned. Love that one. That one's also like, it's not necessarily a parenting podcast. They do touch on parenting stuff, but it's more of like just a personal like podcast of, again, another YouTube couple who I watch and have been watching since before they had kids, but now they've got a couple kids and the woman is pregnant with their third. I always find their podcast really interesting. What else? I also listen to a lot of the Reading Reddit stories by Smosh. I don't know, I just find them fun and interesting and like a bit of a brain break as well. Yeah, audiobooks and podcasts, highly recommend. Audiobooks are really great, especially if you just want to get lost in the story and not really think about your life at the moment. So especially if you're going through a bit of a hard time with your breastfeeding, or like just life in general, or your mental health isn't feeling 10 out of 10, it can be a great way to escape without actually having to be actively involved in the story. Like when you're reading a real book, I feel like, I mean, it's not that you're actively involved with it really, but you have to physically hold it and turn the pages, which can be hard when you've only got the one hand available. So yeah, I'd recommend audiobooks. They're really helpful, but they're fun in general. Oof. Look at all that madoka. That's only from one side. I got like 160 mils off one side. Solid effort. My left side is kind of a heavy producer. Right side not as much. Left side highly productive. Oh my girl, what are you doing? You look so silly. What are you doing? Oh goodness. Come here. I haven't fed off the left side since this morning. Very early this morning, I think. Pretty sure I breastfed 3 times today. We also mix feed, that's why I'm expressing. So not by mix feed I mean like all breast milk, but some bottle, some direct. So I pump, I think I pump probably 3 or 4 times a day, just depends on the day, including in the middle of the night. And I haven't expressed or fed off the left side pretty much either all day or since this morning, and it is currently like 5:30 or like nearly 6 or something at night in the evening. So yeah, we've got a lot of milk in this one. But like if I have fed or pumped, more recently than that, I'd probably get 90 mils usually off that side. And usually I get like 60 off the right. But if I haven't fed or pumped in a while, then I'll get more like 120 off the right. Also, it depends. Sometimes I get like 90, sometimes I get up to 120. If I'm like at the point of leaking, like I was when I started feeding her just then, I'll probably get a bit. I have fed off the right twice in a row, which is why I pumped the left, because I was going to pump the right and then feed off the left and then pump the left, and then I was like, I'll just pump left and feed the right. It'll basically do the same thing, but it'll spend less time pumping. So I've just got a new breast pump coming. This connects to this like that. It's a wearable breast pump. It's the Tiny Bloom wearable breast pump that you just stick in your bra, and it is so good. Like, highly recommend this if you are a breastfeeding person and you want to be able to express and have like be hands free and comfortable, and it's pretty discreet and it's not super loud. Yeah, would recommend. It goes for 30 minutes, so I just let it go for the whole 30 minutes. It's very comfortable. So yeah, I would recommend. It's really good. Very good pump. I am going to wash this, by the way. I'm just busy doing it. So that can stay at room temperature for like 4 hours, but I'll probably put it in the fridge sooner than that. So it just means that I don't have to be the one who feeds her every time. And it means that my partner can stay up a bit later and do the night feed. Like, I'll usually feed her sort of between like 8 and 10, or 8 and 11 even. Probably 9 and 11. And I usually pump at that time as well. And then I'll go to sleep. And then my partner will feed her like sort of 11 to 2 a.m. feed. It depends on the day. And then I'll wake up for the 3:30 to 5 a.m. feed. Come to mama. Come to mama. Oh, sweet girl. I love you. Oh, yeah. Oh goodness, please don't wipe your head around. Don't wipe your head. Yeah, good girl. Oh, okay, hold on. There you go. That's better. Oh. Oh. Get your cry face on for. Okay. The last one for on your phone is calling friends and family. Up to you if you want to do like a video call. It's always nice to be able to see your friends and family and for them to be able to see you and baby, but you know, you've got your boob out there, that might not be the time. Might be better for an audio, but up to you. It's a really nice time to catch up, and it's good to have a chat sometimes, especially when you're, you know, sort of in the thick of things, or if you're having a bit of a hard time. Definitely would recommend. Also, could be a great time for a audio or video therapy session if you need it. Now for the ones that are not necessarily on your phone, some of them still could be, but these are not specifically based for phone. So number 8 is reading. You can hold a book with one hand. We're mums. We are very capable of doing, multitasking. So, and getting lost in a story is a really great way to pass some time and enjoy it as well. I haven't done this yet, but I'm sure I will. I'm planning on breastfeeding for as long as I can. So I'm sure I will definitely be reading while breastfeeding at some point. Number 9 is reading things like short stories, magazines, and poetry. I think the idea of reading short stories or magazines or poetry is more appealing to me while breastfeeding, purely because you're not going to get as distracted from the breastfeeding itself, because sometimes you need to pay attention. Obviously, you need to make sure that they're actually eating properly, but also, you don't want to be so lost in the story you don't realize that your baby's fallen asleep and half suffocated themselves, or they've got into a bad position and their head's funny or something like that, because that happens, especially if you're not paying attention. And babies need your attention, and they can be distracting, especially if they start like freaking out and crying, or they unlatch and need help relatching or something like that. Then you're not going to get as distracted from your story and have to like reread the same part over and over again and stuff. If you're only reading a little magazine article or a short poem or a short story, it's not going to be as big of a deal. Plus, some people only breastfeed for a shorter amount of time than others. So, if you're breastfeeding for an hour or plus, then yeah, you might want to get lost in a book. But if you're only breastfeeding for, 20 to 30 minutes, then you might just want to read one or two short stories or a few poems or a couple pages of a magazine and then save the rest for the next time. Number 10 is journaling. It's a great time to be introspective and, think about whatever you've got on your plate at the moment, any ideas you have, things, you want to plan for the future. My kind of journaling is more writing lists than actually sort of writing long paragraphs of my feelings and stuff. That's just me personally, but, whatever journaling you like to do or want to try, give it a go. It's a great time to do it. Number 11 is writing, especially creative writing. So you could write your own poems. You can write your own short stories. You could write whatever you want, really. Hi, Larry. Hi. Apparently another hobby can be playing with your animals or loving on your animals. Oh, I don't know. You're right. You're still hungry, aren't you? You want some more? You want some more? Okay. You could also do letter writing, like to your friends or to your baby for when they get older, to your future self, to your partner, to your family, to a pen pal, like any kind of writing. Number 12 is doodling. If you're good at drawing, then more power to you, but not all of us have the artistic skill. But everyone can doodle, you can draw any random thing and call it a doodle and not have to feel bad about it if it's not the best drawing in the world. But it can be nice to just get a bit of creative spirit out. Number 13 is puzzle books. These can be like word searches, crosswords, Sudoku, like those mazes, those dot to dot drawing puzzles, any kind of puzzle book, honestly. And if you've got one of those ones that has multiple different kinds of puzzles in it, even better. Even just doing the puzzle pages out of the newspaper or out of a magazine, great idea. Number 14 is story time with your baby. So reading picture books or other storybooks to them. Especially when they're little, they don't know what you're saying. So it could be any kind of book. Even if you just want to read your own book out loud, then they're hearing the words, they're hearing the language. They probably don't understand the story, but they're hearing you speak, which that's good connecting time and bonding time for you anyways, but it's also good for their brain development to hear you speaking and hear you talking to them. Whether they understand it or not doesn't matter. Number 15 is autobiography. Obviously people write their own autobiographies. That's just a story of their life, basically. You don't have to do a whole ass book, but you could just write or record a story time in your life, the story of when you some crazy drunk story that happened to you, or the story of how you got bullied as a child. Whatever you want to write or record or talk about can be a great sort of form of memory keeping, but also it's just kind of fun to relive memories. My grandma has multiple volumes of books of short stories that she's written about her life. Some of them are fiction, but most of them are actual stories that happened in her life, or stories about her kids or her grandkids. And she's been doing that for years, since I was in primary school. She's been doing that just because she goes to a writing class. So I don't know if it's every week or every few weeks or once a month, I'm not sure, but they're tasked to write a story about this or that, or with this kind of theme or that kind of theme, or just whatever they want to write about. And she's written so many stories over the years that she's just collected them all and curated them into books and published them herself and everything. So she usually prints, I think, 100 copies of each book or something, and then gives them to her, or might even be 50, I'm not sure. But she usually just gives them to like friends and family and then has a few copies at home. But yeah, I think it's a really brilliant idea and I would really love to do something similar. So, might at some point write some stories about things that have happened in my life. I might just record them as videos, whether to share on YouTube or just to keep for myself. I don't know, but I've got a lot of fun stories from my life. I've actually originally, when I started like wanting to film YouTube videos, I actually wanted to be a storytime YouTuber because I used to watch Tana Mojo. She was my favorite YouTuber of like all time for years. I still like her, but that's not really my vibe now. I'm more into like cozy content and podcasts and family content. Well, more like mum content now, I guess, as well. But she's still cool. I still enjoy her content occasionally, but yeah, I was like super, super into Tana Mojo, especially when she was full into her storytime era. So yeah, that's like what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a storytime YouTuber, and I spent like months writing all of the stories that I could remember from my life, basically, just like a list of title ideas and just like the general like title of the story, so that it would like stick in my memory, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, I should make a video about that at some point. So, at some point I might just go through those and start recording them or start writing about them. You never know. And I can do that digitally on my phone and save it as a phone note or on like a Google Doc or something, which I could then, curate and maybe make into my own book one day. Or I can record them, post them on YouTube, and now I've got all of these digital recordings of stories from my life. Like, maybe one day I might lose my memory and not be able to remember all those things. So it'd be cool to just be able to look back and remind myself or enjoy them, but also to be able to share those with, with my daughter one day or, with friends and family or who wants to listen, really. Last but not least, and along the same lines, is memory keeping. So for me, that looks like, especially right now, trying to preserve memories with my baby. I've lately been trying to do her footprints and handprints, which is proving to be a lot harder than I was expecting. So far, I've managed to get one footprint successfully. I painted her on the foot to do it, and then she woke up and started kicking, and it wasn't going so good, so I had to wipe it off. And I tried to do a handprint while she was still asleep, and she tried to put her hand in her mouth, and then ended up getting the paint all over her clothes. So, yeah, we'll keep trying. I think I'm likely to get one more foot done, and then probably not going to get a handprint. I don't know. We'll see. We might get lucky. We might not. I'll keep trying. Also, I am currently making a book, like a baby book, basically. But it's the guest book we had at the baby shower, so it's got lots of messages from friends and family who came for me or for Calissa. And I'm using that to write her birth story in it, and I'll probably write like a little summary of the baby shower, the gender reveal, and maybe some of the pregnancy, and like write a letter to her, share stuff about her first moments, like today she did her first tummy time, like outside and like flat on her tummy on the ground kind of thing. She was literally on the ground, but you know what I mean. She has been doing tummy time on her chest, which I think is definitely more suitable for her at this age. She's still a bit too little to do it really effectively on the ground, but it was worth a shot. And she did pretty good. We had about 3 minutes in total before she sort of started to lose it, but it was worth a go. And she has very successful tummy time on her chest. Like she can lift her head up and hold it up pretty well, so it was worth a go. Just sharing like the date and the first moments as like a little list or something like that. So yeah, that's what memory keeping is looking like for me at the moment. But it could be anything for you, like whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. I also pressed a couple of flowers from her first walk, so I'll probably stick at least one of those in there. I might put one in her memory box. That's another thing. I've made a memory box for her. If you watched one of my baby shower haul videos, I got this really pretty tin with like little body products in it, and I did take most of those body products to the hospital. I didn't end up using them because my skin was really terrible at the time with the rash that I had from pregnancy, but I've still got them, so I'll probably use them at some point. But the tin I am using is my baby's memory box. So it's got like her hospital bracelet, the wee bracelet thing that they use for under the blood pressure measuring cuff thing or heart rate measuring thing. I'm not really sure what it does specifically. I've got some like cards in there from family. We've got her little the little hospital card things that they had with her name on it and our names on it. I think we've got stuff that said like baby of Bonnie and Jake or whatever from the hospital. I'm not sure what else is in there. A few other things. I know there's some other stuff in there, but I can't remember what. So yeah, I might put one of those flowers that I pressed in that and one in her scrapbook. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I also was doing junk journaling, and I want to do a spread with her stuff from her gender reveal and some stuff from her baby shower, but I don't really feel like that's a breastfeeding friendly one. That's probably more of a while she's asleep sort of one, or while she's like just kicking around, hanging out. But yeah, memory keeping I think is a really special one to do, especially trying to stay in the moment as well, because like when you're breastfeeding you get a lot of the oxytocin, like those positive hormones, so it is really nice to, you know, sort of play along with that and not get too far out of that mentality. Like I have watched some shows and listened to some things that are definitely not along those vibes. I would not recommend watching like a true crime podcast or anything like that while you're breastfeeding, because it definitely gives you different kinds of hormones that you might not want to mix with your oxytocin while you're trying to have a peaceful breastfeeding session, you know. But each to their own. You do what you want to do. But yeah, that's all of my breastfeeding friendly hobby ideas. So let me know if you are breastfeeding and you have tried any of these hobbies while you have been feeding, or if you have any of your own ideas. Please share those in the comments. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure to have you here. I hope you'll subscribe and like and comment, and turn on the notifications. And I'll see you guys next time. Ka kite!